morning everybody, and welcome back to today's video of DIY investing. Today I had a little bit different of a format for you guys. I really wanted to go through and give you guys a different sort of speculation and just my overall mindset and view when it comes to the market. Everybody at the end of the day is here to speculate, whether you're using technical analysis, whether you're using fundamental analysis, or whether you're just here talking about it and giving your own sets of beliefs and opinions. It's all one and the same. And so for today's video, I really kind of wanted to talk about my overall thoughts and opinions when it comes to blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, as well as Bitcoin, and specifically speaking, how much money can realistically flood into these markets, specifically Bitcoin, in the near future. Because at the end of the day, like I said before, we're all just speculating. Nobody really knows what's going to happen with crypto. We all have our high expectations. We're all very optimistic about this, and I do believe we have great reason to be. This is an upcoming emerging technology, something we've never seen before, something that solves so many major problems that we've had for the last 100, 200, 300 years, that it's very exciting to see kind of what major changes and what impacts this is going to have in society. Now, I've wanted to make this sort of a format of a video for a while now because I do believe it pertains to the majority of people. A lot of people can't sit down and understand technical analysis, and I only believe that that's one small aspect to speculating. I like to give my own overall thoughts and opinions because oftentimes I can't express these same opinions over technical analysis, right? And so today I wanted to briefly touch up on the fact about blockchain technology, kind of how it's incorporated into the world, different sort of markets that are going to be implemented on this technology, and not only that, but how much of that value can be tied back towards Bitcoin, and how much of that value can we say be stored in the market cap, right? So kind of the way that I think about cryptocurrency is I think about it as the early 2000s in the internet bubble. Now, if we go back to then, I wasn't even old enough to understand anything, but I've gone back and done a lot of studying and research into this to kind of understand how it applies to cryptocurrency. And kind of the way it looks is it's very similar to cryptocurrency. This is just a hype cycle. This is a big bubble that will come crashing down. I do believe that we still have a significant time before that happens, probably the next 3 or 4 years. But with that being said, it's going to behave very similarly. And the way I look at this is if you look back at the early stocks of the 2000s and kind of which ones of those stayed around, there's probably only 10% of those that really stuck around, really created something for the mainstream, and really had a significant use case for adoption. Another 90% are now dead. And if you look around crypto, you're going to see the same thing. You're going to see projects that have died out, continue to die out, or will be dying out. You have different projects that are most often just scams. You have developers that don't really take initiative to continue to develop the technologies. You have these major ICOs that are going to die out at some point if they haven't already. And you just have so many different technologies, so many different developers, and so many of these different platforms that really aren't doing a whole lot. And they are implementing a whole lot. They don't have a lot of adoption coming in. And so these are going to be no different than the early stocks of the 2000s, where these are going to die out when the hype cycle is done and Bitcoin's not creating that same sort of drive for new money to be flooding into it, right? And so with this being said, there are a few things that I'm watching out for. So the big reason why I got into cryptocurrency was because of Bitcoin, obviously. That's the first real use of blockchain technology, and I'm sure it's the big reason why everybody is here today watching this video. When I first heard about Bitcoin, it was a very pivotal time in my life where I decided to drop out of high school to chase my own sort of passions. I knew that I liked cryptocurrency and wanted to kind of pursue that. I didn't know how, I didn't know what I was gonna do. But I heard about cryptocurrency through a friend, and as soon as he told me about it, like this was at a time where I was educating myself. I knew that, you know, I'm not going to college, so I got to start educating myself on things that I feel are important. So one of the first things that I taught myself was kind of the financial systems, where money comes from, how it works. And once I started to understand centralized banking, I understood there was a major problem there. And it wasn't long after that, my friend told me about Bitcoin, told me how it's decentralized, peer-to-peer. At the time, that was when we all believed that it was anonymous and all of those things about Bitcoin. And that was really the first moment where it hit me, you know, like this is going to be big. Like this is something that I feel like I can get behind. And so bought my first Bitcoin at $450 and the rest is history. And so I look at the way things are now, and we're still kind of in this mid zone between cryptocurrencies with the blockchain, with Bitcoin, where the mainstream really isn't even incorporated at all. We kind of have them talk about it on the news, but for the most part, it's still very much underground. Now, with that being said, kind of what I'm thinking with Bitcoin is the fact that when I first learned about it, I was hyped about Bitcoin and the idea of Bitcoin. But once I've kind of stuck around for the community and looked into Bitcoin even more, that's when I became passionate about blockchain technology and the real effects that blockchain is going to have on the world today for everybody. And so kind of the way I look at it is the fact that with blockchain, excluding Bitcoin, just looking at blockchain, with the blockchain technology, this is going to really unearth and create so much hidden value that we have stored in the world that we just haven't had a way to kind of really communicate with, really haven't had a way to transact that value. And the way I look at it is we have a real estate market valued at over $200 trillion, right? So that's a huge, huge, huge market that's waiting to be tapped into. Obviously, we still transact real estate, we still buy and sell real estate, but for the most part, we don't really have a super efficient way of doing it. Let's say a man in China wanted to sell an acre of land to a man in Russia. To do that, you'd have to go through different legalities. To do that, you'd have to sign a bunch of paperwork, and it would take months, it would take a long time, because each one of those contracts is coming through from a different corporation, whether it's a government, whether it's a business, and so you have all of these different hoops that you have to jump through to just buy some land. Whereas now, we have these blockchains that perform smart contracts, and so let's say I wanted to buy that acre of land, but it's now being implemented through blockchain technology. That acre of land is now programmed into a smart contract that fulfills all agreements on both parties, whether it's legalities, whether it's personal agreements, whatever it is. You can have these smart contracts that'll go through and perform all of that. And so really all you need to do is agree to that contract, whatever way that works, and then you can now buy and sell that land. Now, through the contract, you own the land. The land is back to the blockchain, right? And so they send you the contract, maybe it's a cryptocurrency, I don't know how it's gonna work, but you now own that land. You don't have to wait months on end to send and receive that value of the land or the ownership of that land. And you don't have to go through all of these different corporations, these governments, all of these different things to do all of that. And so this is the great thing about blockchain, is the fact that for the first time ever, we're now going to have efficient ways to send and receive value and communicate value. It doesn't have to be through a cryptocurrency, it can just be through a contract and an agreement. And then that value is now being transacted through Bitcoin itself. And so this is kind of the point that I'm getting at, is the fact through blockchain technology, we're now going to have a way to send and receive and communicate all of this value that's yet to be really sent and received on a global scale. Because if I'm in China, I can buy land in China. It still takes a long time, but it's harder for me to buy it outside of the country. There's a little bit more loops and problems that you have to go through to do that. And so with blockchain, this is really going to unite the entire world and the entire world's monetary system. And so once we have a way to really communicate value through real estate on the blockchain, we're going to be using Bitcoin to send and receive the real monetary value of that, right? And so with Bitcoin, we have the Lightning Network that's coming out. You have all of these major institutions accumulating it. There's only 21 million Bitcoin in the circulating supply, or well, there's 17.7 million, but there will only ever be 21 million. And so when this stuff really starts to take off and create that real value in the world, how much money can actually flood into the market cap? My guess is we're going to see Bitcoin's worth, well, not Bitcoin's worth, but I believe that the market cap itself will be worth multiple trillions of dollars. My guess is probably at least 50 trillion and probably more than that. Just because of the significant use case. You have gold that's valued at over 7 trillion itself, which is a good store of value, but Bitcoin fulfills all of the great things of gold and then makes it better by, you can now send it quickly, efficiently. It's not a physical object. You can send it, and then it's just kind of a contract or an agreement that we believe it is this value, kind of like most any currency that we use anyways. So Bitcoin's just really this major catalyst in a way that it's something we've never seen before. There's so much new money coming into this. It has a way to really create mainstream adoption through the technology that it's built on, not just the specific fact of Bitcoin. And so with the blockchain technology being incorporated into society, we're now going to have all of the value being transacted on a giant network and a giant server, and we're going to need a currency or a store of value to kind of create that and make it all work. And my guess is Bitcoin is the answer. If you look at all of these other cryptocurrencies, they're not going to succeed compared to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the driver of the money and all of the new money flooding into the market. And so there's really no reason to think that one of these other cryptocurrencies is just going to outdo it. I mean, a lot of people think that about Ripple, but even if Ripple does as best as it possibly can, I don't think that it's going to beat Bitcoin ever. It could definitely have a significant use case for adoption, and it will, and it does today. But with that being said, Bitcoin's the real driver of the value, and I don't think that's going to change. And so tying all of these thoughts and opinions up together, I believe that once we start having a real implementation of the blockchain technology, we're going to have the stock market going to be implemented on blockchain, you're going to have real estate, you're going to have all of these different sorts of, all of this different value is going to be put on the blockchain and stored on the blockchain. And now, with that being said, we're now going to need a currency to tie all of that together and transact value. And that's going to be Bitcoin, especially with the upcoming Lightning Network coming out. That's going to appeal to the mainstream, because now we're going to be able to send and receive Bitcoin and buy and sell and trade goods that maybe I just wanted to buy an apple. I don't have to pay ridiculous fees. It's going to take really quick amount of time for me to do that and process that transaction. And so we're moving into this state of adoption. And I believe Bitcoin's going to be that driver of store value. It's going to be the major catalyst, and it is the major catalyst, and it's going to be the one that you can trust, because I believe 90% of these cryptocurrencies will fail. And so kind of what I'm looking at right now is just the fact, accumulate Bitcoin, because I believe this is going to be a multi-trillion-dollar market cap. My guess is 50 trillion and above, because of the significant use case that it has. And the fact that there's so much value waiting to be discovered and waiting to be put on the blockchain that's going to flood into Bitcoin at some point, because that's going to be the monetary system used. And so this is my thoughts that I had for you guys. I just kind of wanted to briefly touch up on the fact that there's a different way to speculate on the market that kind of doesn't get talked about in my videos. I wanted to give you guys my thoughts and opinions towards this, because it's all speculation. I have a different opinion for Bitcoin that doesn't get expressed when I do technical analysis on my videos, so I wanted to kind of talk about that here. If you guys like this style of format and want to see more videos like this, drop a comment in the video, or even message me on Discord. Whatever you do, just let me know kind of if you guys like these videos and want to see more of them, because it's something I'm going to be doing more of. And I think that they're really informative, especially to the average person that doesn't necessarily know a lot about cryptocurrency, because I can reach a greater audience if I talk about stuff like this, and I can help get more people into crypto and help them to understand it, because of the fact when I'm sitting on my computer doing technical analysis, it's harder for me to explain these sort of thoughts, because I'm speculating from just a price perspective. Whereas from here, I'm taking all of my information that I have gathered throughout the years of being in this space and kind of implementing it into a way that makes sense to you guys, because this is stuff that doesn't get talked about a ton when you are a technical analyst. And so I wanted to kind of share my thoughts and opinions to where I could see Bitcoin going as far as a market cap perspective. Bitcoin hits 50 trillion in market cap, Bitcoins are going to be worth over $1 million. And so the fact we're here so young is awesome, and you guys really have no reason to be worrying about anything. At this point, we have the opportunity to create lasting wealth for not only us, but our kids and then our grandkids at that. And so this is a very exciting time for the world, not just cryptocurrency, not for just you and I, but the entire world. We have a way to send and receive value. We have a way to simplify so much of the bullshit that we've had for so long. And so I'm very excited about all of this and super passionate about being here and being able to share with you guys my thoughts and opinions about all of this. So with that being said, thank you all so much for the support. It really does mean a lot. If you guys like this video, do myself a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. If you guys want to get access to my Discord server where I do post private analysis, click the invitation in the description of this video, and there you're going to get access to my Discord server. Thank you all so much. I will catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.